Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you all are having a great day so far. So let's start looking at the Qs. The Qs are pulling back, and the reason I want to start looking at the Qs this morning, and for those of you that don't know, the Qs are just an abbreviation for the NASDAQ. The ticker symbol is QQQ. So that is the NASDAQ ETF. I want to look at that because I've gotten a lot of messages today, not from people in the chat, just from people in my life that have said, should I buy the dip on the Qs? Should I buy the dip on the Qs? Let's take a look at this and see, because people are thinking, okay, tech is pulling back. It's probably not going to last. We're going to get a rally. I don't know what percentage pullback it's been. We could take a look at that, but over the past 10 days or so. But that's what people are talking about right now. So I want to take a look at that first. So let's come over to TradingView and check it out. So let's just start up here. So the first big pullback, so that was 1.2%, 1.18%, 1.26%, positive 0.24, down about 3%, up about a 1.5%, down 2.25%, down 0.3, up 1.3. Today we're down about 1.6. So people are thinking, is this the dip? Should I buy the dip? That's the common theme that we often hear, buy the dip. But if now we just zoom this out, let's look for some support levels here. So this is definitely a support level. We broke it. So this support level was broken. Now, this is a support level, but we've also broke that level. So the next big support level on the Qs, and not really the next, but this was not a good support level. This was not a good support level. The next like actual support level is probably this, which we kind of hit. So maybe this is the bottom of it. This is another area right here that it could come to 280. But as far as like buying the dip on the Qs, let's see what's happening over here. I don't love the idea, but I'm not a big buy the dip guy. Okay, maybe you buy the dip because you're running into the 200. Maybe there's your answer. But overall, the trend on the Qs is down. So if you ever hear anybody talk about the Qs, they're talking about the NASDAQ. All right, now let's look at, let me see here. I see a lot of SkyWorks in here. Why don't we just start at the top of my list? So this is my watch list over here, not the audience watch list. These are stocks that I'm in right now. So I'm in SkyWorks or SkyWest. SkyWorks is like tech or something. So we're stuck at the 200, entered right around here. Hans said it's up about 11% right now on the trade. Great. The big thing to pay attention to is this. So the trend on Tuesday, we were up here. You can see how fast the trend has fallen down. So let's see here. Let me see where. Okay, so we know we're at the 200. So let's get rid of that chart. Let's just come over here. So we know we're at the 200. I think 85 is the number that we can get to if we can break through. Yeah, 85 is kind of going to be the exit point that I'm looking for, 85. By the time it gets to 85, this will probably be down here. Now, where is the earnings are? Oh, we have plenty of time before earnings. So I think this can probably get down to 85. Now, it might not get to 85. And we're just going to stick here at the 200-day moving average. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see what happens, okay? We'll see what happens. CCL. CCL is one that I entered in the last week or two. We've dropped below the 100. Look, what we wanted to do is drop below this, and we did get below this. So this was great. Everything is looking really good. Trend is absolutely perfect. Volume is pretty good. It's kind of increasing selling volume. Now we did have a day of buying. That's okay. But this is what I'm most focused on over here. And where do I think this can go? I think it's going to get here. It's going to get here. Who knows how low this can go? But there's big gaps, not actual gaps, but big price gaps between these different areas of support. Okay. Lulu. Lulu is another one that, so I got into Lulu here. because I wanted to break below that, got in somewhere down here. It is snapping back on me. It's pulling back to the 100. This is what I always caution people about. But with that being said, this is the reason I entered it. Okay, so this is nothing but a snapback. This should stop at the 100 and break back down. Earnings are not for a while. This is in April, I assume, April 1st. So we have a little less than a month until earnings, but we have enough time. Let's look at Jets. Jets is another one I entered. Jets I've been in for, excuse me, a long time. I entered this one on the show on Tuesday. It was 22.92. Yeah, 22.92 is what I have written down. I like that we're starting to see this. But again, this is kind of snapping back to the 100-day moving average. So we'll see what happens there. But those are the four that I'm in right now. And we'll just kind of keep watching them. As long as the trends are good, I'm happy. So send over the questions that you guys have, and I will dive into them. I see Sprouts Farmers Market as a long-term short. So they just reported earnings, yes. So here's what I would say with Sprouts. I like what you're seeing. Basically, he's saying, if I get an engulfing candlestick down, will that be good? Of course, it'll be good. Just make sure you stay below the 100-day moving average here. I just drew the diagonal line. That's the 100-day moving average. So you can see it right there. Make sure you stay below the 100. If you stay below the 100, this red and yellow should get in the sweet spot. Then hopefully you get some increasing selling volume. Overall, I would find it hard to believe. And let me show you why. I think this is a really strong support level because there's not a lot of support down in here. This is not really support, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah. I think it's going to be hard. Hans. All right. Boeing long-term short with engulfing down. So again, and we talked about this last Thursday, I think it was. We talked about a lot of stocks that are just stuck on the 100-day moving average. So with Boeing, you actually have very strong, very, very strong support here. And it's not really support, it's just a lot of consolidation that has happened over many years. So I don't love this one. I personally don't love this one. I think if you got more down in here, in this area, like below 150, then you're going to have better odds of this trend lasting in the sweet spot. That's just me. Hood long-term short. Robinhood long-term short with an engulfing candle. So, okay, I can get behind that. I think it's going to be more than an engulfing candle. That's kind of the level you're going to need to break. I think I would rather have maybe like 2 engulfments. But even with that being said, this needs to be in the sweet spot. Okay, you need to have red and yellow be in the sweet spot, not just an engulfing candle, not just a day or two. You got to make sure you're in the sweet spot for 3 days. Good call on Boeing. Yeah, for sure. The phone is great. Having the phone app is great, but it does have its downfalls or its pitfalls. Mo, do you see Broadcom support? Let me see. Broadcom support, you said. Okay, so I circled this. I don't know when I circled this. I'm assuming in the last couple of weeks. We're in the sweet spot. Good. Now, 160 to 170. 160 to 170. I think you're kind of at support. So I think this, because look, you have this peak. So this is kind of support. And then you kind of have this down here. So you kind of there, I don't think I would say 160 to 170. I think I would say basically call it 180 to just say 165 to 180. That's kind of what I'm thinking. 165 to 180, somewhere in that range. Let's see. Okay. Now let's go and see. Let me clear this out. So, but you're in the sweet spot. Wait a second. I just noticed something. Come on. What the hell's going on here? They report earnings tonight. So no, you can't do anything with this right now. Forget about it. They report earnings tonight. All right. What level did you enter CCL and Lulu? I'm going to have to go and look. I can open up my brokerage and look. But CCL was entered here with an advanced order somewhere. I don't know where I got filled, but I put the advanced order on there. Was that like last Tuesday or something? I said if we just drop below this, because we had that. So it was forming already. And I said if we get below, I was really hoping that we would get a move down like that, not a gap down, because I wanted to get filled up here, not down here, but it is what it is. So I got filled down here somewhere. And then Lulu, I think it was a similar situation. Oh, no, it wasn't. Okay, so I got filled at a normal price here. So I said somewhere below this. I can't remember the exact number I put in. If I had to guess, it was probably like 350, 579, 350, 550. I can go in the brokerage and look. But that was an advanced order. So I like using advanced orders. Let me rephrase. I like using advanced orders when I have a really, really high confidence level that something's going to happen. So for example, Lulu, red was already in the sweet spot. Yellow was like up here. I knew that this was going to happen. So, and I said, if this candle right here happens, red and yellow are going to be in the sweet spot. There you go. Same thing with CCL. Did I get into jets? Yeah. So remember, guys, I've been in jets since like December with a tracker share. I think I got a Jets tracker share like somewhere in here. Remember? So I've been following Jets for a while. I entered at 22.92. That was, let's see. Yeah, it was right in here. I entered that last Tuesday. I entered it this past Tuesday. So it's nothing but a snapback right now. I like where we're heading. It's going to get here. It's just a matter of when is it going to get there. So those are the four. And then, of course, SkyWest I'm in. So I'm in 4 trades right now, all long-term, as usual. And we'll see what happens with them. ANF dog stock. ANF dog. Yeah, I mean, if you want to put a tracker share on long, you can. If you want to put a tracker share on going long, you can. All right, anything else? And what other questions do you guys have? Let me go to see what you guys have. So I looked at this. We looked at HIMS. No, I don't really love HIMS yet. Schwab. Ooh. Starbucks is getting yanked lately. So they were down about 3% on Tuesday, 0.5% yesterday, about 3.5% today. That's an interesting one. Let's see what happens with Starbucks. This is another interesting one, breaking down, but again, not in the sweet spot. See if you can break through the 100. So Netflix has a Head and Shoulders. I paused there because I was looking. Well, let me see here. Can I get this out of here? Yeah. So Netflix has a Head and Shoulders pattern. See that? This is kind of your, like the buttons of a shirt. Head and Shoulders pattern. This should break down, especially because of that. So I would pay attention to this one, actually. I'd pay attention to this trend. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna move Netflix to the top. Netflix is the best one I've seen so far, and I'm gonna leave that drawing there. I see a day trade, so I try to get to these early. What is it? RGTI. Yeah, I mean, if you're in it, great. If you're not in it, I wouldn't enter it right now. I would wait until I'd take out the high of the 945 candle. So if you can take out the high of 880 with good buying volume, go for it. Excuse me. 880 with good buying volume, go for it. Otherwise, don't. Let me see. What is it? RGTI. Oh, wow. That's a ton of volume. Good Lord. I've never even heard of this thing before. All right. V, long-term short. If it clears the 50, be careful with that one. That's all I have to say. In theory, yes. Based on this pattern, yes. So what he's saying is basically, if we break this, will it turn into red and yellow here in the sweet spot? Yes, it should. Now, with that being said, it's Visa. I'm a little scared to short Visa. That's why I say in theory. All right. AMD. What's BAM? Is that Brookfield Asset Management? Oh, wait a second. Are we looking at? I assume we're looking at the U.S. stock, Brookfield Asset Management. Long-term short. Are we talking about? Peter, what do you look? Because the 50's up here, so I'm assuming we're not looking at the same stock. Mo, Palantir filled the gap down. Trend is not sweet spot, worth watching. Let me see. Yeah, so it filled the gap down. Guys, I tell you this all the time. The gaps are going to fill. The gaps 95% of the time are going to fill. And that's exactly, especially if the volume sucks, which it sucked. So yeah, gaps are going to fill down. Is it worth paying attention to now? Sure. If you want to pay attention to it right here, absolutely go for it. Absolutely go for it. But don't do anything yet. But if you caught this swing, so the way to fill gaps, to trade them is to swing trade them. Swing trade them through the gap because there's no support in there. And they're not going to take long to fill the gap. Where do I? Oh, yeah, it's for Hans. Price below the 50. Okay, what were we talking about? BAM. Price below the 50. I don't understand. And can't this tell by my IP address? I'm in the United States. Why the hell would I want to look at Bangkok commercial real estate? Brookfield Asset Management. Below $50. Yeah, you're right. And I think you're looking here. I think if you get below that, just like you said, yeah, you're right. And you're going to get down to 47. You'll get to 47. And if you could break 47, you're probably going to come down to 42. And that's probably where your trade will end. But I like that. All right. What else, guys? What other questions do you have? If you need him if you're not in the community right now, join the community. Join the Patreon community. Link is in the description below. You get access to me. You get access to all these beautiful people in here. You get access to my chart setup. You get access to, frankly, everything you need. This is a skill you're going to use for the rest of your life. So please join it. Try it. $35 a month. What the hell do you have to lose? Try it for a month or two. All right. Let's see what else we have. That's my pitch. Pretty interesting sales pitch if you think about it. CVNA, Carvana, long-term short. Yeah, I don't hate it. So you're gonna get hung up here. You're gonna get hung up at let's just call it 190 to use a whole number. You're gonna get hung up at 190. Then, of course, you're going to get hung up at the 200, which is basically 184. But yeah, have some move. You have some room to move down. I would just sell short based on that trend. Jonathan, that's not half bad. It is not half bad. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Good one. All right, what else? What else, guys? What other questions do you have right now? I'm going to see what I have going on in here. I'm just looking at my brokerage real quick. $35 is less than a month that you spend on eggs, or less money than you spend on eggs. That's funny. Whatever. It truly is. His comment, it's a skill you're going to use for the rest of your life. Guys, it is a skill you're going to use for the rest of your life. The people always ask me, and you maybe heard me say this, and excuse me if I'm saying it again. People say, how much money do I need to trade? Well, ideally, you have $1 billion that you have to trade. But honestly, if you have $100, you don't need any money to learn how to do this. Think about it this way. And some people might argue this, but let's say you have no dollars now. Well, eventually you're going to have $10,000. Eventually you're going to have $50,000. Eventually you're going to have $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is. Would you want to get that 50 grand and then try to learn how to do something, or have a skill that you have honed over the last 4, 5, 6, 10 years that you can hit the ground running? That's my point when I say this is a skill you're going to use for the rest of your life and you need no dollars to learn how to trade. I think it's pretty simple. I didn't have much when I was starting to learn how to trade. So here we are. All right, let's get back to it. What other questions do you guys have? So we need Lulu to break the 100. Okay. All right. Guys, I encourage you over the weekend, I encourage you all, not just new people, I encourage you all to watch that 2.5 hour video on trading, what I taught. 2.5 hours. I encourage you all to watch it. Just get through it. You'll be much better for doing it. If all of those people, touche. If all of those people who won the lottery knew how to trade beforehand, they'd still have money. 100%. Steve, what's up, buddy? This is the best money you'll ever invest and recoup. Yeah, you're going to recoup this in 2 seconds. If that's what you're worried about, recouping, I think you're looking at this the wrong way, but I get it. Listen, when I first started doing this, I was paying $150 a month. I'm charging $35. I think that's pretty crazy. $150 a month. And that was like 15, 16 years ago. Are you interested in gold? Yeah, I am. But if I'm going to trade gold, I'm going to trade like a GDX, something like this. It's a gold miner. I might trade. Hey, what's up, Michael? I might trade GDXJ. This is the junior miners. I might trade AU. This is Anglo Gold. This is not a miner, but these are the kind of things that I pay attention to. Or you can just, I shouldn't swear. You can trade just GOLD if you want to, if you really want to. I think GLD is another. GLD is the ETF of gold. Yeah, that GLD is the S&P ETF. So yeah, there's different ways you can go about it, but those are my favorites: GDX, GDXJ, AU, GLD, and then of course GOLD. But it's like $3,000 right now, so I don't see why you wouldn't just go and trade GLD or any one of those other ones. If you want silver, SLV is fine. Yeah. Just came by to say hey and hello. Nice to see you around. Greetings from Switzerland. Oh, that's awesome, man. Good to see you. Of course, I recognize your name and that iconic and epic profile picture that you have. So thanks for stopping in and saying hello. Now, if you look at this, so we have some interesting things going on with gold. This is an ugly face, right? And then look at this. It's starting to trend down. Let's go to gold. It's starting to trend down. Let's look at AU. Look at that. It's about to roll into the sweet spot and you still have the ugly face pattern. GDX, let's see what GDX is doing. It's different, but it's forming an ugly face pattern. And then GDXJ is probably, it's GDXJ and GDX look basically the same, which I was expecting. So yeah, there's ways of going about this. Just kind of pick and choose what you want to do. If you want silver, go SLV. If you want Freeport, if you want copper, you can go like a Freeport Mac Moran FCX. There's different ways of going about it. So, all right. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys? Please watch that video over the weekend. Even if you're a seasoned veteran, Hans, watch that video. Even when you're driving, just listen to it. All right, guys. Anything else? Anything else? I'm just going to keep paying attention to these four: SkyWest, CCL, Lulu, and Jets. I'm excited for those. We're up already 11% on SkyWest, CCL. I think this one's being profitable right now. Yeah, this one's semi-profitable right now. Lulu snapping back, no big deal. Follow the trend, and then Jets, no big deal. Follow the trend. Just got to get away from these 100-day moving averages. So we can get away from these 100-day moving averages, we are going to be Gucci. And look at what happened. This one snuck away from the 100. We're good. So, all right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here on Tuesday. Hopefully we get some more movement on these four. And of